Boys, we are here today. Last night, the first ever official Big Juice Championship Draft League had commenced. You see over here, we have the Hartsville Hitmontops, the Arizona Ash Ketchums, the Delaware Dragon Knights, Queen City Quaxleys. Quaxley isn't even out yet, El Bozo. Monroe Minans, the New York Yampas, Carolina Conks, or the Cocks. You got yours truly, with my own team on the bottom down there on the bottom of the screen. The Philadelphia Flacons. Alright. So, I'm going to have my team down there the entire time. Like, there. Yep. And, so you'll be able to see my team the entire time. And then I'll scroll through all the other teams. And so I made a tier list the other night, right after the draft. Some people weren't happy, most notably Herson. So I'm going to go over why I think this is the definitive tier list based on draft alone. I'm not counting any player skill. I'm not counting anything else. This is merely how I think your draft is. So just give what I think. I think 7 and 8 is on lock. I think these two teams have definitely the worst drafts. Then for 6, then right here, 6 from 6 to 4, the Arizona, Carolina, Hartsville. I think these three you can kind of switch around, preferably, whatever you want. But this is what I went with because I thought this made the most sense to me. I think I'm third solidly. I think my draft is better than these three, but I don't think it's as good as these two. And then for top two, I think they're pretty equal. I think they're both really threatening, except for Palisand, obviously. But now let's get into what everybody drafted. So we're gonna start out the Yampers, because obviously they're last, so I want to explain why. This team has this doesn't get Dragon Dance, right? Yeah, no, it doesn't. And doesn't get Calm Mind, doesn't get Nasty Plot. Yeah. So he has two setups. So Herson has two setup sweepers, or sweepers in general, with Alakazam and Gengar. And they both do literally the same exact thing. They both are special attackers. They both basically get the same movesets, just with different stab. And they both get one-shot by literally anything. Literally, they're the frailest Pokemon ever. So he has two Pokemon that do essentially the same job. One does it slightly better than the other. And they both get really frail. So let's look into the bulk of his team. Slowking is a good pick. Tapu Koko can be bulky, but you don't really want to build on bulk. What else? Steelix is extremely bulky. That 200 defense is insane. But if he gets hit by anything special, he just insta-dies. Slowking is his only true bulk. I mean, you can say Ampharos because it has really good stats. But the issue with Ampharos is that it's weak to the two most common typings in competitive and in draft. It's weak to ground and it's weak to fairy, which is very bad. You don't want to see that. That's usually why Ampharos is a lower tier. I think it's still viable because the 165 special attack is absolutely absurd. But the issue with that is that he has two special attackers already. If he wants to run offensive Venusaur, which he can't unless he has Sunny Day on Rapidash, Venusaur is always going to be a wall or tank, which it's bulky, so I'll give him that. But yeah, like he has speed on his team, but it's Coco, Gengar, and Alakazam, and these two do the same job. He has no way of removing hazards unless he runs Defog on Coco every week, which at that point everyone's going to expect it to have Defog. I mean, he can ignore hazards with Alakazam, but that's forcing. I mean, he's always going to run Magic Guard usually anyway, so I guess that's fine. But like the rest of his team, I mean, Rapidash doesn't like rocks, Infernape doesn't like rocks. And his team isn't weak to rocks, but just not having like a reliable way to get rid of hazards is not great. And his fastest mon is Alakazam, right? 120. So his fastest. So does have good speed tiers, but like his team, like I don't like Absol unless it's banded with like Sucker Punch. It's not doing much. Rapidash, I guess it's fine. This team is too specially focused, and if he runs Infernape, it's always going to be physical because he never has to worry about special, so you don't have to worry about a special Infernape set. So his team is very one-dimensional, and he only has one way to remove hazards. I just don't see it being that good. If he replaces Alakazam or Gengar, get something else, his draft probably goes up a little bit. But for now, this is where I'm putting it. Compared to the other drafts, this is just not it. So going on to the Queen City Quaxleys at number 7 on our list. This draft looks very threatening. You look at it and you're like, how the fuck is this 7th? And the reason is quite simple. If Galvantula fails to get webs up, his team just loses. Look at these speed tiers. We got, well, this is a wall, so that doesn't really count. 108, not bad. 83, kind of shit. 35, but it's a wall, so it's whatever. Articuno, 85, that's pretty bad. Malamar, 73, that's pretty bad. Gudra, 80, that's pretty bad. 78 on Feraligatr, that's pretty bad. And Scizor was 75. So the only way he's ever sweeping or beating you is if he gets webs up. I mean, don't get me wrong, his team is extremely bulky. And if he gets like a Swords Dance on Scizor or like a Agility Swords Dance set on Feraligatr or Dragon Dance set on Feraligatr, don't get me wrong, his team is extremely bulky and it does a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong, it does those things. But without webs, I don't see how his team beats other teams. And Articuno's forced to go like heavy duty boots every week with defog. Yeah, with defog and Tentacruel. I mean, Tentacruel's rapid spin, but Articuno is always going to need the heavy duty boots. So you already know if he's bringing Articuno, it's always going to have heavy duty boots. Malamar only does one thing ever, and that's Superpower Contrary. Gudra is his most versatile Pokemon. Magmortar is like a budget Nidoking. And then he has Ferrothorn and Scizor in the same draft. Like, I don't understand why he draft two mons that are quad weak to fire and do like the same job essentially. I think that was troll. I think he goes into free agency and gets rid of Ferrothorn for if he wants another wall, he can get another wall. Or he can get a special attacker. Because Gudra, I guess he doesn't need. I don't know. I think get rid of Ferrothorn for something else in his draft is a lot better. His draft probably moves up like. Draft probably moves up to 5 or 4, maybe 3. If he gets rid of Pharaoh. He just needs more speed. His team is so slow and relies so heavily on Galvantula Sticky Web that if the webs don't get up, he just kind of loses. So yeah, that's why he's number 7. Now this is where we get in a little sussy territory. 4 through 6. We're starting out with Dog Chase. His team. So the 3 picks. No, so there's 4 picks that he's bringing every week no matter what. It's going to be Zapdos, Nidoking, Altaria, and Keldeo. I'm going to tell you why. Altaria and Nidoking work so perfectly with each other, there's no reason to not bring them every week. Keldeo is very good. Calm Mindset's good. Like, Keldeo's is great. Great mon. And Zapdos he's forced to bring every week because I don't think this thing gets defogged, does it? Yeah, no. So, Zapdos is his only hazard removal, and it's weak to rocks. So it's taking 25% unless he brings heavy-duty boots on it, but that feels bad, so he's probably going to want leftovers or something. So, Zapdos is always having defog on one of its move slots, so you never have to worry about the 4th move. Sandslash doesn't do anything without Hail, so this mon doesn't exist. Ice Steel is a terrible typing defensively. Sableye's good. Mesprit's good. Yanmega can't baton pass speed boost because that's banned in the league. And without Trick Room, Alolan Marowak is just a revenge killer, which isn't bad, but with 45 speed, it can be kind of hard to get it off. So, the way I'm seeing it is he has a 4-man rodeo. And don't get me wrong, that 4-man rodeo is very scary. But he's probably going to want to bring the Duraludon for like T-Wave, Rocks, Dragon Tail, stuff like that. He can maybe run like an Assault Vest set. Duraludon's very good, so that's probably a solid 5th every week. And then it's always going to be Mesprit or Sableye in the 6th. He's never bringing Yanmega or Sandslash. And Alolan Marowak is very niche. It's very niche. I mean, you can do Trick with Mesprit, but his team doesn't like Trick Room being up. Like, Altaria wants to Dragon Dance. Keldeo is just naturally fast. Sableye is a wall, so that doesn't mean anything. Mesprit's base speed is pretty good for a wall. Yanmega speed boost. Nidoking's already it's in like the middle of the pack speed tier, so if you're in Trick Room, it's eh. And Zapdos is base 100. So you don't want to run Trick Room. And his team, like, his 4 core, Nidoking, Keldeo, Altaria, and Zapdos is very threatening. The Duraludon is very malleable. He can do whatever he wants with it. So that's always going to be his 5th. I just think he's always going to bring the same team every week, and the 6th slot is always going to be Sableye or Mesprit. And then maybe, depending on matchup, maybe a Alolan Marowak. I don't see Sandslash or Yanmega ever getting brung to a match. So Chase's team is just lack of diversity, and it's very one-dimensional, so you always kind of know what they're going. Like, Altaria and Duraludon are the most versatile, because, like, this could be a support set, this could be offensive, this could be a bulky, this could be bulky, this could be offensive, this could be offensive, could be defensive utility, this can be sweeper. Like, these two are the only ones you ever have to worry about their sets. The other 8 kind of know what they're going to do every week, so that's why I have Chase in 6. Preston in at number 5. I hate that he has double Psychic Fairy. I think that's absolutely troll. He has 3 Psychic types with Swoobat, Gardevoir, and Rapidash, so that's Swoobat's a no. Triple Flying type and double quad weakness to Ice. The literal only reason why this is even as high as it is because of Mega Beedrill, Toxapex, and Zygarde 10%. Those 3 mons will carry his team every week. Landorus Therian was also very good. Volcanion is very good. It's just, he has so many, like, type overlapping and type overlap weaknesses that, like, it's very, very tough for his team to overcome. But if he can keep the pressure up with Beedrill, and he can keep hazards out with Landorus, Swoobat can do very niche things with simple skill swap, obviously. But there's so many type overlap weaknesses that I kind of want to put him underneath Chase. This is why these 3 are very interchangeable. Because honestly, I could probably put Chase in number 4, because let's move on to the next team. Next team is my boy Chris, Arizona Ash Ketchums. He has 3 fucking fighting types on his team. Now, the only reason why I think this is okay is because he has Cresselia, Miltank, Gliscor, and Clefairy. They are very bulky, they can eat the hits, they don't mind eating the hits. This thing with Eviolite is very good. I fuck with it a lot. This thing with Cresselia, we all know Cresselia. Miltank, very good bulk. Like, he kind of makes up for the triple fighting, but it's gonna be kind of, because, like, he's gonna want to bring Lopunny every week, because Lopunny doesn't have Nothing can eat a hit from Lopunny. Lopunny's OP. Lucario will, is kind of the same thing as Lopunny, but just steel typing. And his only special sweeper is Haunter and Raikou. Those are his only special attackers in general, unless he runs special Lucario, which he can run, but it already kind of does the same job as Lopunny. So his draft is kind of in the weird spot as well. But I think this is what I mean. 4 through 6 is tough because they all have very noticeable weaknesses. But now that I think about it, I think Chase's is less so. So I'm tempted in moving Chase to 4, and then you can argue who's 6 and 5 between the Conks and the Ash Ketchums. So let's pretend Chase is number 4. Chase is number 4 now, so ignore this. Chase is number 4 now. I lied. I made up my mind. Alright, now we're on to my team. You're looking at some absolute firepower. Look at down there. You see that power? Come on now, stop playing with me. But, alas, there's always an issue with a team. And with my team lacks speed, man. My team is slow as fuck. Jolteon is base 130, which is extremely fast. Next fastest, Victini with the 100. It's not that good. And then my next fastest after that, besides an unburdened Drifblim, is a Mega Gyarados at 81. So my team is very, very slow. And that's an issue. My team has some good bulk. Moongus is very good. Druddigon has so many different sets. It's so good in Draft League. Drifblim can be tanky or offensive. This is a great, just all-around bulk. Florges is good bulk. Klefki with screens and shit. Good typing, so it's kind of bulky. Gyarados is just naturally bulky, so that's fine. But, like, I just lack the speed. And that's kind of an issue, so I'm always thinking about going like a Scarf or something. I mean, if I'm ever bringing Ditto, that's obviously always going to be Scarfed. But, yeah. So, my team, since we're only doing one item per team, if I ever bring Ditto, you never have to worry about if something else is Scarfed. So that's an issue, because you see Ditto, you know Victini's not going to be Scarfed. You know Jolteon's not going to be Scarfed. You know Drifblim won't be Scarfed Trick or whatever reason. So you know, if I ever bring Ditto, you know something else can't be Scarfed basically, and that's an issue. But I think outside of the speed and the one-dimensionality with my Ditto, I think my team's really good actually. I've Prankster Defog with Klefki, Defog on Florges, Defog on Drifblim. I can eat T-Spikes with a Moongus. I have Rapid Spin on Hitmontop if I need it. That will also give him speed now, which is good. I have a lot of ways to get rid of hazards. It's just my team lacks in speed. And if something walls Victini, my team's in a lot of trouble. Because unless I can set up Gyarados, he's always going to be eating a hit to get up that first Dragon Dance. And if he gets T-Waved, that's an issue. Because if he gets T-Waved, I'm forced out into Florges for Aromatherapy. And it's just going to be a whole thing. So my team, it's powerful, but it lacks speed. And that's really the biggest thing. It just lacks speed. It gets bulky, but it lacks speed. And Ditto's always going to hold the Scarf on my team if I bring it. So you always know one of my 6 items. So that's why I have that. I think it's a fair placement of my team. Call me biased, but I think 3rd is a solid placement. Alright. Now we're on to number 2. Number 2 is Monroe Minans. This team is fucking insane. This team is OP in draft. And I'm gonna break it down why. Galarian Zapdos is a fucking menace. I haven't seen in Draft League yet because I haven't done Draft League since like Gen 6 or 7. And I can only imagine this thing's gonna be crazy. He can scarf it, he can band it, he can life orb it, he can e-build it. They're all gonna be crazy, and it's gonna be hitting really hard. Has great coverage of Stomping Tantrum, um, close combat, thunderous kick, brave bird, U-turn. Like, you know what it's gonna run mostly, but that doesn't matter because it's gonna hit so fucking hard. The Heligo, great. He can run the Power Her Meteor Beam set. He can run Focus Sash Rock set, like a Suicide Lead set. The Heligos is very good. Can run a couple different sets. It's just a solid Pokemon. Donphan, my boy Sturdy. Rapid Spin with rocks is very, very good. Great typing. Great stats. Great mon in general. Scrafty's a low tier gunna. Assault Vest set is so good. Life Orb Dragon Dance is so good. Like, you can't go wrong with Scrafty, is what I'm saying. Scrafty's another just really good low tier pick. Claydol, Rapid Spin, Levitate, so you don't have to worry about EQ. Susceptible to knockoffs in that psychic typing, but it doesn't matter because you're always swapping out. Just another Rapid Spinner, another way to get rid of hazards, another wall. Good. The only issue is that his second wall is another ground type, so that's a little bit of an issue. And his Dhelmise is also weak to knockoff, so if he brings Claydol Dhelmise in the same match, he doesn't want to eat fire type moves. And he doesn't want to eat a knockoff, so that's a little sussy. Little sussy there. Luxray, it's alright. Slow electric type is not good, but I mean, if he scarfs it, if he bans it, it can be a revenge killer with band. He can flame orb guts, just get some power out with some facade and wild charge. Luxray's good, just sucks that it's slow. So that's that's that. Golisopod is a fucking demon. This thing is absolutely insane. These last three picks, the first three and the last three are absolute demons. Golisopod never dies, hits you hard as hell, and there's not, unless you have a flying type move, you can't really kill it, or an electric type move, you can't really kill it. Hound Doom, let's just look. Nasty Plot, Iron Tail, Heat Wave, Foul Play if you need it, Fire Blast, Destiny Bond, Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Sucker Punch if something's faster than it somehow with that base 115. Nasty Plot, Dark Pole, Substitute, Sludge Bomb, Shadow. Like, this thing is just a great mon in general. I don't know how it's such a low tier. I mean, in laddering it makes sense, but in Draft League, this thing is really good. So, that's, in my opinion, Houndoom and Golisopod are the biggest threats on the team. You go to his last one, Ninetales. It can be offensive, it can be defensive, it can be utility. Aurora Veil is always going to be an issue. Always have to plan around the Aurora Veil. If he has Light Clay, you need a way to stall it out or get rid of it. Ninetales is good. The only if if uh if the Hitmontops ever drop Alolan Sandslash and the Minans get Sandslash, this team immediately is number one in the league without question. Because if he has that that slush rush, it's over. It's over. This team is perfect. Team is perfect. Has bulk, has offensive threat. It's more offensive than bulky, so there's that. But the offensive presence alone is just so much better than everything else in the league. It's insane. So that's that. I mean, what else can you say? But going in at number one, we got the Delaware Dragon Knights. And this team is evil. You have bulk in his Cavalier, Muck. Garchomp can be bulky if you need it. Spiritomb is bulky, only weak to Fairy. Milotic and Togekiss can be bulky. And it makes it for Alakazam being frail as fuck. But Alakazam is the fastest mon in the league. Nothing will ever outspeed this thing. Base 150, fastest mon in the league. You need priority or you're going to lose. You need priority or you're going to lose. Or you need a really good prediction into it or something. Togekiss, T-Wave Air Slash, very cringe, but it's very good. Milotic, Marvel Scale, or competitive, very, very good. Just so hard to plan around. Or not really plan around, but it's just so hard to kill. Aerodactyl can run Focus Sash with rocks, just a suicide lead. It can run Life Orb with tough claws. It can sweep. It's very good. Very, very fast. Or Alolan Raichu, great typing, great stats. Doesn't have electric terrain, but it doesn't matter. Base 110, like, come on. Not much is outspeeding that. Spiritomb, Prank. Oh, it doesn't get Prankster, I lied. But just having Will-O-Wisp, Sucker Punch, like, it's very good. Palisand, we're going to ignore that Mon. That Mon doesn't exist on his team. He's running a 9-man team. Scavalier, crazy. Quad weak to fire, which is an issue, but he has Milotic in the back. He has Aerodactyl if he needs it. Spiritomb's bulky. There's ways around it. He can always run Akaberry. More than that, he's probably going to run like an Assault Vest. This thing is very good. Alolan Muck, very, very good. Hurts like a lot. Base 105 attack, that thing hurts. Base 105 HP, that thing is tanky. This thing is always getting hit off before it dies. It's so good. If you're worried about the ground types, you can always just switch out into the Aerodactyl, into the Togekiss. Like, it don't matter. He's got the flying types. And Garchomp, it's what I'm saying, malleable. He can run the defensive set. He can run the offensive set. He can run the utility set. He can run rocks. He can run Dragon or Swords Dance. He can run Fire Blast on it. Like, it has so much going for it. Like, if he gets rid of Palisand and puts something else on, this team's unstoppable. It's fast as anything, because Togekiss can run Scarf, or if it doesn't run Scarf, it's going to run T-Wave. So slowing your team down to make it faster. Team is extremely fast, has great speed tiers that it's hitting, has great bulk, has great diversity. This team's evil. This team is evil. I mean, does Palisand get rocks? Okay, Palisand gets Stealth Rock, so he has 2 rockers. And I guess the only downside is that, I mean, you're never running Defog and Aerodactyl, so the only way he's getting rid of hazards is Togekiss. But honestly, his team doesn't even really care about hazards. I mean, I guess the Aerodactyl, but it's not really a must bring. And his Cavalier takes 12%, so he kind of doesn't like him, but it's whatever. Like, his team doesn't really care about rocks. Spikes could be an issue, but he has Alolan Muck to get rid of toxic spikes. This team just has very few holes in it. It's a very solid team. So that's why I have everything the way it is here. Chase, I'm a bump you up to number 4, big man, and then because I think I did you a little dirty. I think Chase is number 4, 100%. I think Chase number 4. I was tired last night. Give me a break. Chase is number 4. Then the Arizona Ash Ketchums and Carolina Conks are both 5 and 6. Doesn't really matter where you put them, in my opinion. But other than that, this is the definitive tier list. I think this is fair. I think it makes the most sense. And yeah, I think the Minans and Dragonites draft alone will probably make it to the championship match. I think their drafts are very good. So hard to plan for. I'm going up against the Minans week 1, so got to plan around it, but that's that. I'll have my team building up after we do the matches, and then I'll record the matches themselves. But yeah, we'll do the battles on the weekends. So probably have the battles upload on like Sunday, Monday, or Monday, Tuesday, and like the team builders and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's the draft. That's my tier list on what I think of the teams, and yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.